Tucker, well, Donald Trump is the presumptive GOP presidential nominee, but who will he choose as his running mate? That's something people in Europe are actually betting on right now. So who's got the best odds? Let's ask oddsmaker and manager of Betfair's East Coast operations, Darren Zoccali. Nice to see you this morning, Darren. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
We brought the big boards. We got out some 1980s cheesy Las Vegas fonts for everyone at home. So take us through here. These up are your top bets here on these two boards. Why are these the top bets? Let's start with Newt Gingrich.
Yeah, obviously what this tells you is that people are buying into the idea that Donald Trump is looking for that political base on the bottom half of the ticket. Newt Gingrich 11-4, that's just a tick below 3-1. Not a huge favorite. As you see, these odds are relatively clumped. This odds board kind of resembles the Kentucky Derby more than what you would think in a prohibitive favorite. The interesting thing to note about Newt Gingrich is that this is the Betfair odds, but in other odds markets and other wagering sites in Europe, he's a much more decisive favorite than this. In fact, really closing down closer to even money.
Really?
So if you like Newt Gingrich and you're in Europe to bet, Betfair's the place to bet because you're getting almost 3-1 compared to even money elsewhere. All
right, John Kasich was in, of course, a heated battle up until about a week ago.
Yeah, sure. And the idea obviously being that John Kasich might get him Ohio. Again, it's a governor of an important swing state. It's that strong political presence that he's been talking about. He's a close second choice. He's kind of been near the top of this ticket pretty much throughout.
Some people have ruled themselves out, like Nikki Haley. Of course,
yeah.
We remember the battle they got into during the campaign and before the South Carolina primary. But she's still up here in 10-1 odds.
That's really reflective of the fact that she was much higher earlier, so the odds have dropped dramatically on her. She's going to continue to fall. The interesting thing to note is that Paul Ryan has emerged now on the scene in terms of odds where he wasn't to be found prior to this meeting that they had just the other day. So now that they've met and everybody seems to like each other once again, Paul Ryan has jumped onto the odds board.
10-1. Paul Ryan, clearly not going to be the VP.
Clearly not.
But he's still up there, and you could take that chance. What did Ted Cruz up here? 14-1?
Yeah.
Any chance? No. Is there a snowball's chance that Ted Cruz is Donald Trump's VP pick?
Yeah, I would say no. I wouldn't. I mean, 14-1, you might get 14,000 to 1. It might be a better play than 14-1. But again, these are people maybe that don't follow the polls and don't follow that closely. They just see a big name and decide to take a chance.
All right, Mike, switch up the big tote board, okay? Here we go to the value plays. These are value bets. What is a value bet, first of all?
A value bet is perhaps odds on somebody that might not necessarily be reflective of the chances. Nikki Haley obviously has taken herself out, but she's considered a value play because at one point she was trending closer to 3-1. Now she's up at 10-1. Chris Christie, again, has drifted up because he was actually the favorite until a couple of weeks ago when he was picked to head the transition team. People took that as an idea of saying, well, if he's going to do that, he's not going to be VP. So he's gone from 2-1 up to 4-1. And again, Paul Ryan, just to point out the fact that this is someone who wasn't even mentioned as VP, now jumps onto the board for the first time.
If you were a betting man, and I know you are, who do you think it would be?
I would take the 4-1 on Chris Christie. I mean, just from the point of view of the fact that maybe it's a little bit of a sidestep to say he's going to lead the transition team, throw some people off of their game, and then at the last minute, hey, you know what? Chris Christie's tabbed as VP. It wouldn't shock me.
All right, Darren, great to see you this morning. Thanks so much.